We are here with secondhand model contestant Sonia Hernandez. So, Sonia, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I am a native of the West Michigan area. I grew up in Montague, which is on the map, right on the lakeshore. It's also the home of Miss America 1961, Nancy Ann Fleming. But I grew up as a migrant student. We moved back and forth from Michigan to Texas until I was in 8th grade, and we stopped moving. I was able to start and finish high school in Montague. I graduated in 1990. I have 2 children now. I have a 23-year-old son who just graduated from Aquinas, and I have a 6-and-a-half-year-old daughter who just finished kindergarten.
Let's talk about fashion.
All right. It's my favorite subject.
Yeah, you seem very fashionable, like you have a good fashion sense. Let's talk about your secondhand shopping experience.
Well, growing up in poverty, I have a really hard time like going into the mall and spending $80 for a pair of pants. I've never been able to do that. So I've always shopped yard sales, garage sales, and then as I got older, started discovering consignment shops, Goodwill, etc. It just doesn't make sense to me to spend an arm and a leg for clothing. So I've literally everything from Christmas gifts to the clothes that I wear, many of the fashions that I give to other people. I recently created a dress with the help of some of my friends for a Dancing with the Stars competition in Muskegon. I was one of the stars. And I purchased a secondhand dress. It was plain black, and I danced a salsa with my dance pro. So I hiked up the side, I bought some boa feathers, ostrich feathers, and blinged it out with some bling in red and black. It was beautiful, and everyone loved the outfit, and it was all secondhand.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, so I enjoy going shopping. I might see something that might look ugly, but I'm like, oh, I can cut the sleeves off of this and make it into something else. Or I might see a sweater that I want to make leg warmers out of, or, you know, things like that. So I'm constantly up, you know, like recycling clothing.
You create outfits, essentially.
I do.
Do you sell any of those outfits you create, or?
I have not at this point. Usually, I also make headpieces, floral headpieces. Because I'm Mexican, I like to make big floral headpieces for local festivals and different things like that, like during Hispanic Heritage Month. And so usually if I have one on and somebody's like, I love that, all of my things are unique because I make them, and I'll usually just take it off and gift it to someone. So I don't usually sell my things, but my things are very unique. They're very interesting, and there's always a story or some type of symbol behind, especially my headpieces.
Interesting.
And I do buy the flowers secondhand. I usually go into the arts and crafts areas at Goodwills and Salvation Armies and look for bundles of flowers, and usually buy my flowers there and put together my headpieces.
Where did your fashion sense come from?
I've always had, I grew up on hand-me-downs. There were times I was wearing my brother's clothes. So I don't know where it comes from, but I've always had an attitude that I want to be unique. I don't want to look like everyone else. My hair, when I was in high school, I had one side shaved and the other side long. I had zigzags in the back of my head. My clothing, people would always say things like, oh, that looks great on you. I would never be able to pull it off, but I love it. You know, that kind of thing. And that's been since high school. It's never changed, actually. I'm very non-traditional in a lot of the things that I do. I don't like status quo in general, so when it comes to fashion, I create my own. I don't follow trends, I usually set them.
How do you plan to take that and use it for this competition when you are shopping and picking out your outfits?
I first of all plan to have fun with it. My hope is that other people can understand that you don't have to spend a whole bunch of money to look like $1 million. And that's one of the things that I absolutely love. Young women that I mentor, students that I work with, I love sharing that with them, especially when they compliment my clothing. I love to tell them I bought it secondhand because I want them to know and understand you don't have to spend a lot of money to look good.
You mentioned teaching.
Yes.
Which university?
I actually teach adjunct at Grand Rapids Community College here in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
While you're teaching, do you give any fashion tips to the students?
Usually I don't usually make a point of it, but if somebody asks, of course, I do love to wear hats. My jewelry is usually big and obnoxious. My clothing I don't match my patterns. I like to stand out. I like to be different. And so usually when I wear my big floppy hats, I usually have, especially my young women, they'll ask, oh my gosh, I love your hat. Where did you get it? That type of thing. Kids are always asking where I got my things. But I've actually had grown women stop me, and men in some cases, in stores, in public, and compliment my outfits or my hair or my headpieces, whatever it is that I have on.
Wow, very fashionable.
Yes. My friends make fun of me. They call me a fashionista, and when there's a gala or an event, they come to my closet to pick out something to wear.
So you've become the go-to.
I am, kind of, yes.
Could you say you're a fashion guru?
I wouldn't go that far yet.
If you win the competition, how do you plan to apply that to whatever you're doing currently?
What I would like to do is maybe have a class for young women on poise and elegance, and utilize materials from secondhand stores to teach them how to put outfits together and things like that. Maybe go to some women's shelters and do the same thing. Maybe make some donations as well.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Modeling. Can you expound on experiences, interests?
Sure. Back in 1992, I did my very first job as a hair model, and was invited to go to a 7-day cruise as a hair model. Enjoyed it, loved it very much, and did some photo shoots and things like that. Ended up modeling for an agency here out of Grand Rapids. It's no longer in business, but I was on the cover of Grand Rapids magazine, and I believe it was November of 2000. I was also in the magazine periodically over the years. I was Miss Chiquita Banana, and got an opportunity to go to New York City and audition to be the national Miss Chiquita Banana. Although I didn't win, it was the most amazing experience. I've been on billboards, I've done commercials, I've been an extra in movies, but those are just things that, you know, over the years, here and there, it's not anything like I've made a career out of.
How do you plan to take all of that when you hit the runway? Like, where's that experience like? What's your thinking going into it?
Very strategic. I'll kind of just lay low and watch, and I'm going to blast everybody away on the runway.
Okay, I love the confidence. Yeah, love it.
Thank you.
So how about teaching? What do you teach?
I teach a first-year experience course at Grand Rapids Community College, and I work primarily with first-generation college students. Most of them are Latino. I was hired specifically to work with Latino students at the college. So I teach, sometimes I'm teaching 6 sections of it, sometimes I'm teaching only 2 sections of it. It just depends on the need. Currently I'm teaching 3 sections, 2 right on campus and then 1 at the Lakeshore campus in Holland.
Experience course, is it like an introductory to like college?
Yes, it's a college success course. I teach them some of those real basic skills about note taking, how to get organized, time management, stress management, some of those very basic skills that they're going to need to employ to maintain the stamina to finish their degree. We do a really good job recruiting students to our colleges and universities. We don't do as good a job making sure they finish. So this course kind of helps build that foundation.
Okay, definitely. Do you have any social media, websites, blogs, Instagram, anything you want to plug, shout out?
I have a Facebook page, but I don't have it set up for this specifically.
Okay.
Not yet. And I do have a Twitter account, and it is Sõnya Hernandez. Agent of Change 7 is my Twitter name, and I would be more than happy to entertain any followers and answer any questions. I do plan to set up a specific page on Facebook for this competition, and so if you follow me on Twitter, you'll get that information.
There you have it. This has been our interview with Sonia. Thanks for coming out.